Hello and good morning. Welcome back to daily number workout number 5. So let's get started with our workout by first putting it in word form like we've been doing the last 4 days. So now number 5. 5. All right, our next category is multiples, which will be very familiar to all of you. So 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 5 is 30. 7 times 5 is 35. 8 times 5 is 40. 9 times 5 is 45, and 5 times 10 is 50. Woo! So just like counting by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Also, we know that every number that ends in 0 or 5 is a multiple of 5. Awesome. So let's move on to factors. So of course, we always start with 1 times itself. And so that spreads us out here. And then we ask what's in between. There's a few numbers in between 1 and 5. So we ask, does 2 go into 5? And it really doesn't go in evenly. 3 doesn't go in evenly. And 4 definitely does not go into 5 evenly. So we're just going to draw a line here. Nothing times 2 or 3 or 4 can go into that equals 5. So there's our factors. Okay, we ask ourselves now, is it even or odd? And even or odd. So the 5, we know any number that ends in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 is odd. So right up here, odd. We're saving paper here. And then our next question is it prime? And we know any number whose factors is only 1 in itself is prime. So we're writing the word prime up here. So number 5 is prime and it is odd. All right, moving right along, we're going to go to fractions, decimals, and percents. So we want to put equal signs in between each of these because we're doing equivalent fraction, decimals, and percents. Equivalent means they equal each other. So today we're looking at 5 out of 100 days of school so far. We're working our way to 100 days of school. So we know that 5 goes into 100 because it ends in 0. So that means we want to divide the top number by 5. So put division symbol in the 5 and the bottom number by 5 to get an equivalent fraction. So 5 goes into 5 one whole times, and 5 goes into 100 20 times. All right, so let's go for our next equivalent decimal. And remember, we always go back to the original fraction. So this would be 5 hundredths. So we want to go right to the hundredths place. We know that this is written 5 hundredths. And this is written 0 and 5 hundredths. And this is equal to 5%. So again, we walk into a store and we want to buy something and it's 5% off. That would be 5 cents out of every dollar. All right, let's move it to the next category, which is ratio. Ratio is all about comparing. So we have 5 to 100 or 5 colon 100. So 5 students out of 100, or 5 to 100 students like jelly beans. All right, let's move on to the next one, dollars and cents. So we want to do our dollar sign. And of course we have 0 whole dollars and 5 cents. So writing that out would be $0 and 5 cents. All right, looking good. So get that all worked up for yourself. And we're going to head on to the next category. I'll move my paper up. You can still keep writing that down if you need to. Our next category is area and perimeter. So again, I want you to write down area equals width times length. Perimeter equals width plus length plus width plus length. All right, so now we're talking 5. So we're going to do horizontally first, 5 squares. So you can draw a rectangle and then chop it into 5 parts. Try equal, but it doesn't have to be perfect. We know this is 5 wide by 1 tall. So we're going to find the area. 5 times 1 equals 5 square units equals the area. And then we know this is 5 across here and 1 here. So our perimeter would be 5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1 equals 12 units, which is equal to our perimeter. So if we wanted a fence around this area, it would take 12 units of fencing. All right, 12 feet. Depends on the units. It could be feet, yards, inches, whatever you want to decide your units are. All right, moving right along, and I'll make sure that this stays where you can still read it and copy it. Our next category, well, actually, we want to do another area. Another way to draw 5 would be vertically. So I'm going to draw it right here to save paper. Take your time. So it's a 1 by 5. So the area now equals 1 times 5, which equals 5 square units. And the perimeter, of course, would be a 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 5, which equals 12 units. All right. Moving on to volume. So hopefully you have that all written down. And I'll start drawing our volume here. So we're going to draw a vertical stack of blocks. Give it those diagonal lines coming off of each corner of each block. Then we're going to connect those ends. And there we have a beautiful vertical cube stacked. So it is a 1 wide by 1 deep by 5 tall. So this would be the volume would equal 1 times 1 times 5, 3-dimensional. So 1 times 1 is 1 times 5 is 5 cubic units. Now we can also take the same one and draw it horizontally. So go ahead and lay yours down. So this would be laying it down. Whoops, ignore that. I overextended my 5. And then so now this is 5 across by 1 deep by 1 tall. So this volume would be 5 times 1 times 1 equals 5 cubic units. And I'll leave that out there for a few seconds. So while you're completing yours, the 6th day of the daily number workout, you will be doing ahead of schedule. Either as you enter class, you're going to look at your other papers and complete the categories for all of number 6. And then I will go over it with you and see if you connected all the dots and played with the number in every possible way for our number workout in these categories. So take care. I will see you tomorrow with number 6.